Eccentric and unlikely champion Chris Billam-Smith digs in, as he plans for a long title reign. But an experienced Polish boxer has come out to challenge him and crush his plans. It's going to be a bitterly fought scrap that will see two towering and muscular men shake up the ring. The stakes are high. This is all you need to know leading up to the showdown on the 10th of December. English brawling chap. Chris Billam-Smith was born on August 2, 1990 in Epsom, Surrey, England. He grew up in Epsom with supportive parents. His father worked in the film industry as a stagehand, and his mother was a doctor's receptionist. Growing up, he definitely didn't have the kind of background that would make him an instant boxer. His parents' jobs meant that he and his siblings had a comfortable and cushy life that included a long trip to Australia and Smith being able to do classic early 2000 kids stuff, such as BMX and sports with friends. But he nonetheless had an interest in boxing, and he started training on and off, even as a youngster. He would only take boxing seriously at the age of 16, entirely on his own motivations. To this day, he credits this experience with helping him sober up and act with grace. When I started boxing, it just humbled me massively. I was never really a bad kid, but I was getting up to mischief. He got into an amateur career early at the age of 16, representing Pool ABC in the amateur leagues, and compiled a record of 32-11. He fought in several ABA championships, reaching the semifinals in 2012 and the finals in 2013 and 2016. However, he lost out to Jack Massey at 86 kilograms and Siobhan Clark at 91 kilograms, respectively. Crushingly, he never managed to secure a championship victory or any gold medal during his amateur career. Usually, that spells the end for aspirations of a professional career. Overall, that's not much of an amateur experience at all when compared to the typical professional boxer either. But Shane McGowan sensed the supreme talent and motivation in Smith and decided to take him in for a professional career. Although it didn't seem like it at the time, and many would question it, it paid off. Within the first 2 years of his professional career starting from 2017, he proved to be a knockout machine, taking away from his opponents the ability to even walk. One of the most notable would be his fight against Ken Kauppinen, who he dropped twice before forcing a surrender. Chris Billam-Smith has since forged a respectable 18-1 record, with an extremely close split decision loss to the formidable Richard Riakporhe, who remains undefeated. Not only is Riakporhe a gifted boxer himself, but he was also trained by McGowan in the past. Even then, it was extremely close, as Judge Terry O'Connor decided in favor of Smith. From then on, though, he reset his cadence to knocking out and stopping his opponents one after another. On November 23, 2019, he fought Craig Glover at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool, with the vacant Commonwealth Cruiserweight title on the line. By dipping Glover twice in the 4th and 5th rounds, he captured his first ever belt. He would then go on to snatch more belts from Tommy McCarthy in 2021 and defend them the next year. But his most important win so far has been his last. On May 27, 2023, he fought Lawrence Okolie at the Vitality Stadium in Bournemouth and beat him up so much that Okolie was knocked down 3 times in a 12-round match. It's a miracle he managed to stay up to finish all the rounds, although Smith himself got a cut above the eye. Of course, Smith got the majority decision victory and became the WBO World Cruiserweight Champion. At last, he had smashed any doubt Shane McGowan might have had back in 2017 and proved that he was always good to be a world champion tier boxer. And this is the title he's going to defend for Mateusz Masternak. The Eagle of Poland. Mateusz Masternak was born on May 2, 1987 in Iwoniska, Poland. He lived in Iwoniska until he finished primary school and junior high school. And being a young Polish child during that time, it can be safely said that he found himself in his fair share of street fights. As a result, he started training at the KSZO Ostrowiec-Suetrakicki Club. But eventually, he had to move with his family at the age of 15 to the larger city of Wrocław, where he started training at the now famous Wardia Wrocław Club. Masternak was naturally gifted, and note was taken of his fast progress in the boxing gym. Right after finishing school education, he found himself competing and beginning his amateur career in 2005. In his very first year as a competitive amateur boxer, he became the junior champion of Poland in the 75-kilogram bracket. This got him handpicked to join the Polish national junior boxing team. His first fight in the national team took place in Estonia during the Junior Championship of Europe in 2006, where he was defeated in the quarterfinals. He participated in a few more tournaments, but he failed to come out as a champion. Nevertheless, he managed a record of 61-9. His amateur career lasted for all about 1 year, as he felt he had what he needed to go pro and win in 2006. His first 4 fights took place in the USA, but his promoter was unable to pay for his fights any longer. So he went back to Poland, and in 2007, he signed on with a new promoter that could fuel him. So off he went to carve out an undefeated streak with his imposing presence in the ring until 2013. Until that point, one of his most important fights included one against David Quintero in 2012, who had an undefeated record of 27-0 by then and his toughest challenge. Since his first loss to Gregory Jrode by way of TKO, his career appeared to have floundered for a decade with fights against rather unremarkable opponents. He had been defending his UBA European Cruiserweight title from Jrode, which he had previously taken from the Finnish Juha Poha. When he did not stand a good chance of gliding to a crucial fight that could land him a world title shot, he lost crushingly. For someone to continue boxing professionally after that happening multiple times takes a special sort of willpower. These include crushing defeats to the likes of Johnny Mueller, Tony Bellew, and Uniel Dorticos. Following the rather depressing unanimous decision loss to Dorticos, he refrained from fighting for a year before coming back. Ironically, he's probably one of the few boxers who had a good time during COVID-19. This is because from 2020 onwards, he has not lost a single fight. It appeared that somehow, Masternak was back to the beginning of his career, when his imposing stature and always attacking posture won him the day with unanimous decision victories and knockouts. His fourth-round KO demolition of Arman Horhaj was particularly amazing for his fans to see, and the following fight against Jason Watley made it clear, without a doubt, that after so long, he finally deserved a shot at the world title. "Finally, I have a chance," Masternak told Sky Sports. He also told Sky Sports that his fight against Chris Billam-Smith's compatriot Tony Bellew in 2015 was the one golden opportunity he had for a world title shot before this. He does regret having it slip through his fingers, although he has also stated that he was inexperienced. Now, he's going to make the most of it. Fighters compared. With someone in the game as long as Mateusz Masternak, he's definitely going to have a wealth of experience, calmness, and strength. While the last decade for him has been a revolving door of unremarkable opponents, with chances to burst onto stardom floundered, he has nonetheless fought against various styles and has performed at a high level. Chris Billam-Smith considers him a well-rounded fighter, with no obvious weakness, although we might add that his stamina is one to be watched. Masternak is also known for his resilience and rarely takes a step backwards, often to his detriment, as he eats a lot of shots that he could have avoided if he worked on his defenses better. This does leave him vulnerable to counterpunches and those with high fight IQs who can circle him to strike at weak points. After all, he's got to give in at some point, and that's how some of his match losses have gone. Nevertheless, he's earned nothing but respect from Chris Billam-Smith. Now, Smith has no shortage of heart and determination either. He's pretty much an upper-class boxer, but he's also not an influencer boxer to boot, so there's a lot left to prove still. Crediting much of his uniqueness and success to none other than his beloved coach Shane McEwen, he's also considered a well-rounded fighter. Billam-Smith has shown his ability to adapt to different fighting styles. Were it not for that one split decision, which is of course to be disputed, he would have a pristine undefeated record that nobody could question. Much like Masternak, he's known for his technical knockout power, having won many of his fights that way. Masternak is definitely not going to underestimate him despite the vast wealth of experience that he has. He said, "Chris is a great fighter. He doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. In his last fight, he was able to beat Okoli. I have to watch him carefully and look at all his weaknesses." But as mentioned earlier, he's not going to let his chance slip away at all. He's waited all his life for this moment. He made his motivation clear when he declared the following: "The message to Chris and his fans is when I take the belt, we're going to a Polish boxing event in London." Do you think Mateusz Masternak will finally get what he's been longing for? Or do you think a new dawn is on the horizon for Chris Billam-Smith after winning the championship in his last fight? Leave us a like and subscribe if you agree with our assessment of this showdown. We'll see you again when the dust settles on the canvas.